and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna eat my own shit. Just give me 1 second. It's in my pants.
Let me just pull it out.
It looks like peanut butter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna eat this in front of you to show you. But I was really interested, and this is more your field, in this. What is it? Patojo?
POATAN.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Him.
I like this guy, and I like that he does the black magic on people. He fucking tricks people. He sends trances to them. That guy Jiri was
terrified. He was
very
horrified.
he was very concerned with the black magic.
He was horrified. It was not dissimilar to you probably don't remember this because this was big in like UK, Europe. But do you remember like Chris Eubank fought this guy Steve Collins?
Yeah, I think I remember that.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
But it was like the biggest thing in Ireland because Steve Collins was Irish. And what he did was he hired this hypnotist and made him his head coach. And the hypnotist had put him under to a point where he wouldn't feel pain. So even if he got hit with the biggest shot in the world, he would just walk through it.
Eubank?
No,
Collins?
The Steve Collins. And then he just like, this guy, like, it's complete horseshit. Like, this guy was like not even a real hypnotist, I don't think.
Right,
but
right.
He was like
Scott Adams, like a fucking
like I'm gonna get put under by this coach, and then when you hit me, you could hit me with the biggest shot ever. You could hit me with a concussive shot that does give me brain damage, but I won't feel it because I'm hypnotized. And so Eubank was like in the thing before talking about it like it was a failed drug test. Like, whoa, wait a second. He
was like, this is bullshit. He's using hypnotism. This needs to be illegal. This can help him in tremendous ways.
Literally, he was like, I think I'm gonna have to pull out of the fight.
How did the fight go?
Eubank was like doing the interview. He was like, I think I'm going to have to pull out of the fight because he is using something that is not of this world.
That's
he was very.
Oh god, that's so funny, bro. How did the fight go?
Collins won.
But Donagh, you doubt this thing. But so did he was he hitting Collins with bombs?
Kind of. I think Collins just like kind of outboxed him a little bit, like moved around a bit. It was like right after Eubank had like fucked up Michael Watson, like left him not able to walk. So I think it was like Eubank was kind of towards the end of his career. Steve Collins really caught him on the hop on a good one. He had trained a good bit in Vegas with some good people. So yeah, I think it was probably not so much to do with the black magic, but very similar to the POATAN.
Well, let me tell you something, man. This guy was terrified of the POATAN. You know how I know he was fucking really scared? Because he mentioned it before, but when he was like walking off stage for the weigh-ins or whatever, did you catch this little clip? He's like walking off stage from the weigh-ins, and somebody's got like a camera in his face or a mic in his face, and he's walking down, and he's like, yeah, he's doing it. He's using it. No, yep, he's using it. He's like, I'm not worried. I'm clean. I got this, but he's using it, and he clearly
he's definitely on it.
The look on his fucking face was of sheer terror. He wasn't okay with it. He was very scared, and yeah, man, how do you even go to the fucking ring with that with these thoughts of these demons?
Well, evidently not very well, right? He got knocked out. He got dropped in the end of the first, and then viciously. And how about POATAN? Did you see the fight? You saw the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched the whole fight.
How about POATAN kicks him in the fucking head? Dude goes down like a sack of potatoes, and POATAN goes to walk off, and the referee goes, "Well, hold on a second."
No,
so makes POATAN go down and beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, Herb, hey, you ain't finished here, POATAN. And POATAN gets on him, smashes his fucking head in a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I mean, I don't know. I guess this guy, what's the guy's? I can't pronounce the last name. What do they call him? Jiri.
Jiri Prochazka.
Is it Jiri?
Okay. Jiri Prochazka. Yeah.
So Prochazka goes to the ground. It seems like he's like ready to pull guard or like try to fucking engage with him in some sort of way. And Herb Deeben wants his fucking head to get smashed in, so he knows he's good and ready. And Pereira obliged. So shout out to him, man.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to him.
The maddest thing as well is Pereira is, I think, 14 fights into his pro career.
Yeah, he was doing. But is that a little for UFC?
Well, it's definitely like you would usually have fought a little bit on the regional scene, but he was a huge kickboxer. Yeah, this was his 13th pro MMA fight, and if you think of it, that was his second light heavyweight title defense. He's already won and lost the middleweight title. So he's a two-weight world champion. He's already defended the second belt that he won multiple times. So you're talking about like a legendary career on its own, just like absolutely all killer, no filler. Like if you imagine any boxing champion like Floyd, if his record was like 15-0, but it was all just the end of his career, like it was just like Manny, Zab Judah, all these guys, like, but like you wouldn't
Right, but
you'd
all the top guys, or kind of like where Tio's headed, minus the loss. But like Tio, within I think 14, 15 fights, was fighting Loma, beating Loma, turning around.
Yeah,
Josh Taylor
Tio,
undisputed.
But you're talking about 14, 15 fights. Like we're saying, this guy was in the UFC on the back of a 3-1 record. He beats two guys, and then it's Sean Strickland immediately. So within his third UFC fight, he beats Sean Strickland, knocks him out. And at that point, it's Adesanya twice, Blachowicz, who was a former champion, Prochazka, who was it was a vacant belt, Jamal Hill, who was a champion,
yeah.
And then Prochazka again. It's a phenomenal record. And now they're talking about it maybe going up to heavyweight and fighting John Jones.
Well, they say, I saw a like a little stat or graph or something like that. And I don't know if this is exclusively like, because I know he headlined the 300 card. He wasn't even supposed to headline that card, right?
Wasn't supposed to headline 300. Wasn't supposed to headline on Saturday night.
Wasn't supposed to headline this card either.
It's supposed to be Conor McGregor.
And he's been part of or headlined the two of the top four, I think, gates or pay-per-views of all time. UFC.
Four of the top 10, not of all time, but four of the top 10 in the last few years. In the time that he has been in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I know it was like shocking. I know that the only other names were like McGregor, and then him.
Yeah, well, what he did was he's already headlined again. We're talking about in this many fights: main room Madison Square Garden twice, main room T-Mobile Arena sold out. We're not talking about T-Mobile Arena like Canelo versus Jaime Munguia. You know, we stick a couple of people in there. We're talking about a full up T-Mobile Arena. He's headlined that a couple of times now. UFC 300, 303. I mean, he's like a monumental star. Headlined in Miami. He's a fucking huge deal.
So how much bigger is? First of all, do you ever see Adesanya? I mean, I know if he moves up to heavyweight, it's probably out of the question. But do you ever see Adesanya possibly moving up to light heavyweight and fighting him again? Or would that be too much of a threat?
Adesanya moved up before. Adesanya moved up like when he was like a couple of years ago when he was just shitting all over the middleweight division. Like what he did was he beat all like the top 10 and then went and beat them all again. Like they all like built their rankings back and he just went and did it again.
Right.
So like if you look at Adesanya's record, like most of the top contenders at middleweight, even now, he has 2 wins over them. Like Marvin Vettori, Robert Whittaker. I mean, he beat Pereira. He fought Pereira twice. Like he was just beating a lot of these guys. And so I would imagine. So it's in the UFC they're 1-1 right now. Pereira knocked Izzy out, then Izzy knocked Pereira out.
Him out, yeah.
But in kickboxing, Pereira has 2 more wins. So Pereira's 3-1 over Izzy in the series.
It's kind of cap, right? Like wasn't one? Shouldn't it be 2-2? Realistically,
so one of them was like a weird decision, and then he fucking viciously knocked him out. They needed fucking oxygen the second time. So he has viciously knocked out Izzy twice in his life.
Fucking nuts, yeah.
And then like kind of had a weird decision and got knocked out a second time. So
that's a big fucking win for Izzy, though. No,
bro, that's what everyone was saying last night. Was like it ages so well.
That's
on
exactly
Izzy's
what
record.
I was thinking when I saw that. I'm like, this guy's a fucking savage, bro. Even the fact that Izzy decided to like stand, because it looked like yesterday, it looked like he's the kind of guy like Tank, to where if he hits you just once, it's fucking over. To see Izzy like lay up on the cage and kind of like bait him in, or at least it seemed like he was baiting him in, and then like to have the poise or the presence of mind to then throw that shot and catch him and KO him is fucking sick, man. That might be like you said, it gets better with time. That might be one of like the GOAT KOs of all time when it's all said and done, man. That shit was sick.
Well, there's a very good argument to be made that it will go down as one of the best knockouts, like one of the most like impressive knockouts, because Pereira could end up being like a legendary. I mean, we're witnessing a historic run happening as we speak, because if he hung up the gloves tomorrow, he headlined UFC 300, multiple weight world champion, and he fucking did it all in 13 fights. And he probably made a boatload of money because 300 and 303 were both late notice step-ins.
That's kind of what I love about the UFC. Like I love it and hate it. Like I love that it only takes, because they keep matching people up with the best supposedly, but like a lot of times it's at least way better than boxing. So they usually match people up really good. The competition is high level. And if you put together a couple big wins, the fans will reward you like almost instantly. Like within 2 years or a year and a half, if you go on a good run in the UFC, you're the man. You're the shit. It's like this Taporia guy or whatever. Like he just burst on the scene however long. It wasn't very long ago. Like by the time it makes it onto my radar, I'm sure he's done some work to get there. But on the flip side, these runs don't last very long in the UFC. And that kind of sucks. Like I would like to see a guy, I would like to see people have runs, maybe not similar to John Jones, because that seems like a long fucking time, but like a little bit more similar to boxing, to where you see people you get to like grow with the fighter.
Adesanya has had that. Like Adesanya
has. Yeah, I like that. Like a nice, yeah.
But see, the thing is, they've been like playing catch up with boxing the entire fucking time. So like Conor McGregor, his run was really, really short.
Really
like,
short. Too short, bro. Too short.
Debut in the UFC, late 2013. A couple of fights in 2014. Belt 2015. Second belt 2016. Floyd fight 2017. Done.
Game over. Too short, bro. That's what I'm saying about the UFC. Like guys like Conor, like those kind of guys, you don't get to like have them for very long. So I guess you just got to appreciate the fact that a guy like Pereira's here. He's killing it. I don't know, man. I'd like to see him at heavyweight. I saw another thing today. He's a dog against everybody that's anybody at heavyweight. He's a dog against Jones, dog against Aspinall, dog against, there's one that you wouldn't like, because I read in the comments that everybody was like, I'd fucking take Pereira over that guy. Some kind of Islam style heavyweight name, like a bit of a Turkey al-Sheikh type guy.
Oh,
like a Ankalev.
Ankalaev?
Yes, he's favored to beat Pereira at heavyweight.
And he's light heavyweight. He's not a heavyweight, I don't think.
Oh wow! So there you go.
So
they're saying even if he goes to
contender.
heavyweight, he'd be favored to fucking beat Pereira. So
I mean, Ankalaev. The thing is, the Pereira has like, and this is the issue with MMA over boxing, is like, in boxing, it's all like kind of one sport that you have to have learned, whereas MMA is this mix of sports. So you can really have a clear deficiency in one area. Like in boxing, you couldn't be a world champion if you just straight up like weren't able to defend against a left hook, unless you were Devin Haney. But you know, if you were, generally, if you had like this gaping hole in your game, you wouldn't become a world champion, or at least you wouldn't have any sort of a run. Whereas in the UFC, it's not like you could be like, there's really no evidence that Pereira can wrestle at all, or that he can grapple at all. But he's just so dominant on the feet and able to keep it there, and has enough defensive ability to stay up there. I mean, you would have seen it on the undercard there last night. There's a guy, Michael Venom Page, who fought our guy.
I fucking hated that fight, bro. I hated that fight. Let me tell you something, man. Fucking. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna eat my own shit. Just give me 1 second. It's in my pants.